All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy here. In today's video, I want to talk about, does 2021 feel like 2006? Are we in for a rough ride? Are these next few years going to see some turbulence in the real estate market, in the housing market? I'm going to jump into that. I'm not only going to tell you my opinion, I'm going to tell you other smart people's opinion. I'm going to talk about some stats, some similarities, some differences. Before I jump into it, do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all the stuffs for the YouTube algorithm. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, what I want to tell my good buddy Mike Zuber is if a lot of this stuff sounds familiar, it is, brother. I'm borrowing some of your research, some of your stats, because I heard a video where he talked and I thought it was good information, so I wanted to share it on my channel. If you don't know about Michael Zuber, One Rental at a Time, search One Rental at a Time on YouTube. Great dude, great content, has a great course, investing, wrote a book, the whole thing. You got to go check him out to learn more. But he talked about some of the humongous differences between 06 and 2001. And I already know people, when they look at it from the perspective of like, between this year and this year, prices ran up a lot and then we saw a big crash. That's what's happening again. It's not that simple, right? It's not that just that we saw big price appreciation in 04, 05, 06. And then when the wheels started to come off and in 2009, things started to depreciate rather quickly, right? I saw everything around me foreclose. Homes that had sold for 360 were selling for 380 in 10 and 11. First off, think about that timeline and how people talk about like a peak statistically in October of 06, or some people even point to 05, but then 2011 is where prices hit their bottom. Realize that those things are 5 or 6 years apart. It takes a while for things to happen. That's a little caveat, little nugget for you to take in there. But also, things are so much different. And one thing I want to talk about, because I can and because I'm a mortgage broker, I get to see inside of the mortgage world the loans that are being written. That's one of the things that anybody who's got this, crash mindset or is talking to you about a humongous crash, you have to take into account, no matter what other variables you look at, loans that are written today are so good. They're very high quality, low risk loans, as opposed to 2004, 5, and 6, when every other loan was an adjustable rate mortgage. And I'm not making up every other loan. More than 50% of loans were adjustable rate mortgages. There was even riskier products like the neg am products where you didn't have to pay enough to have an amortization schedule where your loan balance goes down over time. Negative am means it goes up over time. You're paying less per month, which helps people buy bigger houses, but over time, your principal balance is going up. That product is never going to end well, right? And so that's something to think about, right? If you have a stable job and you've got a 30-year fixed mortgage, you're in a very safe position versus you state your income, you get a loan with an adjustable rate, and at some of these loans, your payment could go up 30, 40, 50% 2 years after you got it. Of course, that's a recipe for disaster. But let me talk about some stats and share some that my buddy Mike Zuber shared. First and foremost, we've heard the inventory thing, right? And if we're going to compare 2021 to 2006, like so many people do, because they think that this is the beginning of the unwinding and we've got, this craziness ahead and home prices are going to fall, yada, yada, yada. We've got 1.3 million homes for sale. I think that's the latest number, versus 06, 3.7 million homes for sale. Again, it goes back to the see, this is how simple-minded of a dude I am. I can't even say the word. Like the simplest of simple, supply versus demand is going to drive prices to a certain extent. If we have 1/3 of the supply that we had back then, it's hard to see a free fall in prices. It's hard to see, home prices go down in any significant manner. And so you've got that on the supply side, right? You've got supply 1/3 of the levels it was 15 years ago. Sure, it's probably going to go up. It might go to 2 million. More stuff's going to come on the market. Things aren't selling as fast as they were 3 months ago. Great, fine and dandy, right? Well, let's look at the demand side to see if demand is keeping up, if there's more or less demand. Zuber did a little thing, and Barry Habib did a similar type thing looking at demographics. If you look at the average first-time home buyer, they're 31 years old. And so you go from 2006 back 31 years to 1975, and there was 3.2 million, I think was the number, births. So then we want to look at 31 years ago from today, back at 1990, how many births was there that year? It was 3.1 in 75, and then it was 4.2 in 1990. So that's a 30% increase. That's pert near 40%. It's about 35% increase in births, right? And the one that Barry Habib did was he looked at that demographic 34 to 36 year olds and did the same type of looking back, rewinding the clock 34 to 36 years. That's the biggest age range of borrowers. 34 to 36 year olds buy more houses than any other, 3-year age gap. Way more births than ever. And it's literally like a ladder up. So over these next few years, we've got more and more of those folks coming to market. They want to buy houses. We know that. So even if inventory levels tripled, we've got the demand to eat that up. Another note I wrote down here was the appreciation numbers, where if we look at a national number, and I'm sure every market is different, and I'll say it in this video, I say it in every single video I make, that like your specific town, your specific county, whatever it is, real estate can be specific in certain areas, but you can look at national to find certain trends, right? And 04 to 06, 48% appreciation in those 3 years. That is absolute bonkers. We thought we felt a lot of appreciation in 19, 20, and 21, and we're at 24%. We're half of the levels of appreciation. So like realize in 04, 05, 06, when anyone can get a loan, home prices skyrocketed. It feels like that today. When I looked at this number, I hardly believed it, because sure, you've got Boise, Idaho's, and Phoenix, Arizona's, and San Diego, California's, where we might be at 48% in that 3-year period. But I'm telling you, like the vast majority of markets are seeing even less appreciation than they were back then. Lastly, we'll look at affordability, because people like to point out, like, look at how much home prices have gone up, and the average in 06 versus the average in 21. If you take the median home price in 06 and the average interest rate, which was about 6.25%, and you compare that mortgage payment to the mortgage payment of the median home price in 21 and a 2.8 interest rate, the payment today is almost exactly 20% less. That's wild. That is much more affordable. Now, the naysayers are going to point to the fact that, okay, if rates go up 1 or 2%, then you're doomed. If they go up 1 or 2%, they might be back to where they were in 06. Apples to apples, payment to payment. And I promise you, in the last 15 years, wages have gone up. I'm not saying it's pretty, and I'm not saying the housing market's perfect. I'm just saying it's not as bad as y'all painting it. And, what I think I want to start ending my videos with, because I don't know what's going to happen, you know what's going to happen, is we gonna see. So if you have any questions at all and you're in California, I'm happy to help. Matt at mattthemortgageguy.com. If you're outside of California, greatmortgagebroker.com. Quick little survey, it'll hook you up with a mortgage broker I like and trust. Until next time, we gonna see.